"You're having an outdoor party in December," I reminded her. "It's maybe 10 degrees out. There's no way I'm exposing tons of skin. I'll be wearing my coat and hat, boots. No one's going to see the sweater." "Fine," she grumbled as she pulled out her cell to check the time. "But keep your hair down. I'm meeting Kit Lancaster, the party planner, at the barn for a final check. I'll be about an hour." She gave me a little wave, then left me alone to get ready in her huge master suite. Poppy was rich. It was as simple as that. Her father was Eddie Nickel, the famous movie star. While he spent most of the year in L.A. or at film site, his home was in Cutthroat. He had a huge ranch a few miles away from Poppy's place. The town was thrilled he was a resident, bringing the obvious publicity, but also because he'd filmed his last movie here. It had finished up about a month ago, and from what I'd heard, he was remaining in town through the holidays. That last bit I'd learned from a magazine at the checkout counter. While it didn't have horses or cattle like her dad's property, Poppy's place had tons of land, including a barn and a pond where tonight's party was to be held. This wasn't a simple friendly get-together. Poppy had gone all out in her planning with fancy appetizers and drinks like hot toddies with lots of rum, a live band for dancing on a raised platform, ice skating on a Zamboni-cleared pond. She'd even hired an event planner, Kit Lancaster, who I knew through the Mills investigation. The party was going to be out under the stars. In December. Her birthday had been last week, so every year she had a combined birthday and holiday party. Over 100 people were expected. But not Eddie Nickel as far as I knew. Poppy didn't talk about her well-known dad all that much. I didn't need to be a detective to know they didn't get along. At all. I'd never met him, never heard of her having lunch with him, going to his house for dinner. Nothing. Because of this, I never brought it up. I could have wheedled the info out of her. It was what I did for a living. But I wasn't eager for her to pry into my past either. I'd moved to Cutthroat for a reason, and I wasn't sharing it, even with a girlfriend. She might inspect my party outfits, but she didn't pester me about my past. And for that I was grateful. I went into the bathroom, stripped out of my clothing, ditching the bland outfit I'd worn to work, and showered. Well, I'd never had any issues about being a woman on the Cutthroat police force. I didn't flaunt my femininity much. I didn't want to stand out, not only with my colleagues, but especially with suspects. Outside of work, I didn't want to make a huge statement either, going for simple t-shirts and jeans, minimal makeup. It was easy and involved little time in getting ready in the morning, but it also kept me off most men's radars. That worked for me. I wasn't looking for a guy. I didn't want a relationship. After one total disaster, I was content being alone. It was easier, safer, so much less dangerous to my body, my mind, and my heart. When I finished my shower, I dried off, dug out clean panties and bra from my bag and put them on, then brushed out my damp hair. Through the closed door, I heard a series of odd thuds. I opened the bathroom door to listen and wondered what Poppy was up to. "We have to hurry. She's down at the barn and will be back soon." It was a man's deep voice, definitely not Poppy. Using the word "we" indicated there were at least 2 of them. I tiptoed out of the bathroom and onto the second-floor landing, the thick carpet muting any sound I might make. Poppy's house was a new build with large open rooms in the Western style. I was able to see down into the great room from an open balcony and observe a man who just climbed through a window. It wasn't dark out yet, so none of the lights were on. They must have seen Poppy leave and thought the place empty. I'd put my police SUV in her oversized garage so I wouldn't have to scrape ice or snow from it when I left, since snow was expected before dawn. A second man had his head and upper body through the window and was pushing the rest of himself through the opening. He was big and not very nimble. "She's going to be sorry now," the second guy said, then groaned as he dropped to the wood floor. Whoever it was didn't like Poppy. The memory of what Mark Knowles had done to Sam Smith, kidnapping with the intent to rape, was fresh in my mind. I didn't have my phone with me, but I wasn't letting these 2 mess with Poppy. No, these guys weren't going to fuck with my friend. I tiptoed back into Poppy's bedroom, grabbed my gun and handcuffs from my bag, then slowly made my way down the stairs and into the great room. "Hold it."